Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is your Liverpool news update. I'm Chris Page. I'm delighted to be joined by Peter Kenny Jones for this one. We've got quite a few little stories for you today, but ultimately the Premier League is back and that's what matters the most. I say it matters the most. There's something that matters more than that I'd like to draw your attention to right now, and we'll be doing a 13-hour charity live stream, to be honest, next Wednesday the 23rd of October. For Zoe's Place Baby Hospice in Liverpool, in West Derby. You will have probably heard us talk about it on the podcast on Monday. We've got some incredible guests who are going to be giving up their time to help us pass the time. None other than, on the thumbnail there, Jamie Carragher, Peter Moore will be dialing in from Zoom in America, Neil Mellor's going to pop into the studio, Adam Rowe will be popping into the studio, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, Adam McCullough from the club, Mark Goldbridge, of course, from United Stand. They'll all be joining us via Zoom throughout the day. So we promised it will be an incredible entertainment show for you guys. We've got the match in the evening to look forward to as well. So we're going to split the stream into two halves, basically, Peter. Loads of guests, and there are a lot more coming, trust me on that one. In the daytime, the footy in the evening, and hopefully we can all raise a lot of money for Zoe's Place, because they need around about £5 million in less than 30 days. It's massive important to us, and that's why we wanted to do something for the cause. Peter, what have you been up to since we last met?
Not much, I don't think.
Not much.
Some podcasts of my own, do the work, writing, not much interesting.
Okay.
Yourself?
Well, listen, loads of interesting stuff. I was off in Dundee doing a live show last week. Paul had his book launch on Saturday night. The week before I went to the NFL. It was fantastic. I got to see the Minnesota Vikings win another game of football. That's the third time I've seen them win live in England. But ultimately, it was all filler because the Premier League is back. And Liverpool do have an injury list. It's not massive, so I wanted to go through a few of them today. Obviously, Alisson is out with a hamstring until November international break, probably after that. I've spoken to quite a lot of people about Guivi and Kelleher and stuff over the last week or so, Peter, but where do you stand with it? I used to be heartbroken when our first goalkeeper would get injured. I certainly was when Adrian was the backup. I just don't feel the same right now because there's a lot of trust in Kelleher.
Yeah, I think Alisson's undoubtedly better, which I think everyone will agree with. Possibly, I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I think Kelleher's possibly better with his feet than Alisson. So I think the only issues we've caused ourselves this season, I feel, have been us giving the other team the ball. We've been doing, especially against Bologna, when we had that 5-10 minute spell where we just kept going back to Alisson and not having a go at Alisson, but he stands still, doesn't he, and wait for the movement. And his passing isn't always as good, but I feel like Kelleher can pick the man out, be more efficient with it maybe. So yeah, I think in that sense it's good. I would definitely want Alisson over him, but I think the only worry, I'd rather it happen the other way around, because we've had a run of easier games. It probably would have helped us more. Whether Kelleher will not cost us, but maybe not do what Alisson would have done against the better sides, we'll find out. But yeah, as you say, we're in a very fortunate position to be not too bothered that the best goalkeeper in the world's injured.
Where do you rank Kelleher in terms of our Premier League goalkeepers?
It's a good one.
Because I think he's pretty high up that list of how good he is.
He's got to be close to Reina, alongside Reina, not reckon? Better?
No, listen.
My opinion?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, okay, good.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think obviously it's because we haven't seen enough of them, and that's what the issue is. I think you'd say Reina probably better, but yeah.
I had him as 3
behind
Reina and Alisson.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, it's Alisson's clearly first, but yeah, he doesn't really make any. Yeah, I'll go joint second. Yeah,
joint second. Wow. It is interesting though. I mean, Liverpool had a goalkeeper problem really, and Pepe Reina, I think, in that first year or two was absolutely fantastic. Last couple of years probably not quite as good. But for me, yeah, I think Quivina is right up there. Just quickly, before we carry on talking about the injuries, Ben Gray has said, travelling from Sydney to see the game on Sunday would be unreal to see the Redmen crew. Absolutely buzzing for it. You'll never walk alone. Ben, we are live in Hotel Anfield on Saturday evening. You can see right there, doors open at 6 o'clock. If you go to skiddle.com and type in the Redmen TV, you'll be able to get tickets. We'll be doing a live show. You come along, we'll do a live show, and then we've got a musician singing all the Liverpool songs with loads of Liverpool fans. So if you want to come and meet us there, you're more than welcome to, Ben. If not, try and grab us around the ground on the day itself and say hello if you see one of us. Don't look for me, look for Paul. He's really tall. So normally you will, when I'm looking for Paul in a crowd, just look above the crowd and you'll see his quiff. It's dead easy to find him in a crowd. Me, not so much. But anyway. We'll move on then. Harvey Elliott, obviously that fractured foot. These are the types of games maybe that wouldn't have suited Harvey. Maybe the earlier games would have suited Harvey. Maybe these ones will see Dominic Szoboszlai get a little bit more into the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the big frustration for Elliott. Wanted that we had an easier run of games. Obviously, we were top of the league. We'll find out whether we are as good as the table says we are, which, you know, there's no reason we can't be. But I think, yeah, Elliott playing against the likes of Wolves, and we saw last season, scored the winning goal. Was it own goal eventually or something? But he jumped in the crowd against Wolves and he scored a late win against Palace. Their 2 games have just come. So clearly he's suited for those games. Chelsea, Arsenal, all the other games that are coming up. Is that as easy for him to shine? Possibly not. So obviously a bit more physical. But he'll just be frustrated that he's missed so much football, because a new manager especially, you want to go and impress, and yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him as where he is, but we all know his qualities and he will come in and get minutes, and probably the test is now for Curtis Jones to say when he does come back, I should be ahead of Harvey Elliott, and that puts the onus on him now to impress with any chances he gets.
Where do you see Curtis? Obviously he's just had a baby, was it yesterday? A little girl, I think it was called Giselle maybe. Giselle. There's a coupling thing there from years ago in an old BBC One comedy programme that I absolutely adored. Anyway, regardless of that, Curtis obviously can probably play the 2 positions, maybe the 3 positions actually, to be fair to him. Yeah. But what do you see as his favoured position? Or best suited? Because favoured's not necessarily best suited. Well,
when he was doing the best under Klopp was when he was like on the left, like towards the start of last season, the end of the season before, when like obviously he's getting up and down and his physicality seemed to suit him best. So he'd probably think, and he's probably not too wrong, that where Mac Allister's playing, but I think that is quite unlikely to be able to displace Mac Allister. So therefore I think he should be aiming for being that more attacking threat that Szoboszlai and Elliott are trying to do. He seems to have 2 players for every position slot, and he tries to rotate them. We saw that he came on. Obviously, that midfield when Mac Allister went off was a bit different than what we would have had, because Szoboszlai and Jones had to kind of manage that together. But I think in his head, and he's probably right to say it should be Mac Allister's position he wants to go for, but that, as you say, that's a massive job when you've got a World Cup winner there in your way.
Well, we know that Harvey Elliott is back in training. We've all seen the photos on his Instagram and the videos, and we're all made up for that. Obviously, we don't know anything about Federico Chiesa at the moment, but potentially could return against Chelsea. I doubt that he would be a start, but could be an interesting one to see him on the bench. Interesting story from This Is Anfield here says that Georgi Mamardashvili says he'll fight to be Liverpool's number 1 even if Alisson doesn't leave. I like that.
Yeah, but that was definitely a long-term appointment, wasn't it? So, you know, if he's saying I have to start straight away or I'm done, I don't think we would have signed him anyway. So I think as much as that's exactly what you want to hear, it's probably not that much of a surprise either. We know how good Alisson is. What's he got? 2 years left after the end of the season. I hope with all my heart that he will be the goalkeeper to the end of his contract. If he wants to extend, that's fine. We've already got Kelleher there, and if you've got Mamardashvili, obviously the pressure will be taken off him if he has a season learning from Alisson, learning the Premier League, and Alisson has a lot of injuries, so if Kelleher does go to make way for him to be our second choice, then yeah, there's got to be opportunities for him, because unfortunately Alisson does like an injury. So yeah, come and fight, and then just as every other player's had to do. I mean, I don't think anyone's been given their position this season. They've all had to fight to prove that they're the player to play there, and yeah, if he fights and proves he's the best, then that's just a win-win for us.
Absolutely. A little bit of news around another backroom appointment. Liverpool have poached Feyenoord's video analyst. What is his name? Oh, there we go. Roderick van der Ham is the latest to make the switch from Anfield after more than 2 seasons, joining as a video analyst. This is such an important role now, isn't it? And obviously one that I think has a lot to do in the build-up to games, but also I know that it has a lot to do at half-times of games, doesn't it? Where they will quite quickly show players something that's happened on the pitch, and then it's the manager's job, or it was the manager's job on the Jürgen, to quickly say, this is how you attack it in the second half. So I'm glad to see that this is getting done, but it does make me wonder why it wasn't already done, because he came with quite a light coaching staff, really, Slot, didn't he?
Yeah, but probably not wanting to disrupt too much, and he's picked the people he thought were essential, and fortunately for us, that we don't know whether he's had another first choice who hasn't come up or whatever, but fortunately for us, the man that Slot wants there is available, and we've got him. So look at the positive side of it. There must have been a reason why he wasn't first invited, but if it makes us better, as you say, then why wouldn't you do it? And they are so important. You see if you watch like the Amazon documentaries and all that, half the stuff they do is in a room, gather around the screen at half time before the match full time. So yeah, if he's good, then it's good for us.
Absolutely. What did you feel like when you found out that Trey Nyoni had just penned his first professional contract? Because that was a thing, and I just naturally assumed he'd already done that.
Yeah, but not a surprise in any way. As you said, it's one of them, how haven't we done that already? I literally was looking for his birthday, because I thought, is this some type of, he's just turned a certain age, now we can officially do this? But no, the amount that they spoke about him in the summer when we were looking for a new midfielder, and you see that Paul Joyce and everyone else are saying they're listing our midfielders, and Tyler Morton wasn't always listed, but Trey Nyoni's name was always in there, showed how high up the list he was at that point. And yeah, he's going to be a massive player, and I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that he's been given that. Do
you know when he played in pre-season, and he played in one of the deeper roles, didn't he? And I saw him turn and go past the man. I was like, that was the first time I actually thought that Gravenberch could play that role for us. It was when Trey Nyoni did it, and it was a random one that you just watching it and you think, oh, Gravenberch can do this role now because Trey's just shown him how to do it. But obviously there are quite a lot of similarities in their gait and the way they move and turn and stuff like that, aren't there?
Yeah, and I think he seems more of an attacking threat than Gravenberch, and I think it's just the under-20s or 21s, wherever he is with England. I think he got the last international break, he was good. He obviously scored an Anfield game as well. So yeah, but Gravenberch and all of them should be an inspiration to anyone who's in the academy, because they're all quite versatile, aren't they? All the players. I don't think we'd be upset. It might not be your first choice, but Szoboszlai playing that deepest role, I wouldn't want that to happen, but he could definitely do that. All our midfielders, I'm trying to say, are versatile, so for him to have similarities attacking wise, maybe being better than Gravenberch and being decent on the ball, obviously long term he's not going to be playing now, but yeah, that's a really exciting prospect. And I think Dan on here speaks about him a lot better than I will, but I'm sure everyone will know.
He just texts you randomly on a Thursday sometimes when he's not in work, about say. He just absolutely adores him. We'll move on then. Leicester at home on Thursday the 26th is now confirmed. We've actually got Tottenham on the 22nd is now the 4:30 kickoff. Then it's Leicester, apologies, on the 26th. West Ham away on December the 29th. Man United at home on Sunday the 5th of January. Forest away on Tuesday the 14th of January. And we've got FA Cup games and potential Carabao Cup games in there as well. Christmas is going to be another tough period of football for the Reds. How many times have we played Leicester on Boxing Day over the last 10 years, by the way? Yeah,
it's every time they've been in the Prem. I think probably it is ridiculous.
Every time,
Yeah, it is. It's not bad. It's worked quite well for us. I think Klopp, didn't he say that was his best ever game? Was that the one where Trent was unbelievable and on Christmas Eve? So, touch wood, it could be a lot worse. It could be City away or something. But yeah, it's a strange reoccurrence. But I just looking as well. So the West Ham being after Leicester on the Wednesday, I think that bigger break than you would maybe normally expect. I think we have actually, as much as
2 days
packed
for
sometimes. Everyone, so I think we have actually been quite fortunate with it. I think it's Sunday 30 Sunday, which is just a normal schedule, which when you go into Christmas, obviously as you say, cup games will go in, but going into Christmas you're expecting madness, and we've got okayness.
What's interesting, I think, for me is that how many of the games have been picked up for television again, because over the last year or so, we haven't actually been on TV in England as much as you would have expected, and that's down to Arsenal and probably Manchester City fighting out for a title and stuff. I didn't think at the start of the season the television companies weren't really sure about where Liverpool were going to be, so we had was it 2 or 3 Saturday 3 p.m.s?
2 in a row, yeah. First time in like 20 years or something.
Yeah, whereas now it's looking like our games are all going to be on the television again, which is great in some ways, bad in others. I must admit, I do like those Saturdays at 3, just because they're unusual for us nowadays. But it's good to see that Liverpool and Underslot are getting that recognition as well. Yeah,
but that's all it is. It's Klopp's biggest complaint was that we had the TNT R12 kickoffs. But that's because they only get 1 game a week and they really want us because we're boss. And so anytime you're on the telly, it means that they think you're good. And especially because we're top of the league, they've had to book the games now. They'd be stupid to think we might drop off, which we might, but they're booking ahead and we're currently top of the league, so why wouldn't you put us on? I think Fulham is the only game that's not on the telly, is it? The home game at 3 o'clock.
On the 14th.
On the 14th. So that shows that then worried me, because I was like, that means they think it's an easy 3 points for us, and that was stressing me out. Like, we can't be thinking like that. So it's good and it's bad.
Absolutely. And then finally, I wanted to talk about Chelsea. Obviously, it's a little bit early, but with the internationals finally being over and stuff, obviously it's a massive run of fixtures for us. Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal are the next 3, aren't they? How are you feeling heading into this run of fixtures? Because they look very, very difficult on paper.
Yeah, the season starts now. I think that we've had an unbelievable start. I feel like you have to put in brackets over the Nottingham Forest after every time we praise us, but that's fair enough. But as you say, the games coming up, the competitions are in as well. We had Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal, and Brighton in again, double Brighton. So and then we all did that mad week where we got Leverkusen, then Villa, City, Real Madrid, so
City.
It's got to be crazy, isn't it? And this will find you don't want to think too far ahead. The game, as you asked me about, is Chelsea, and that's hard enough. There maybe a surprise with how well they're playing. We know how good Cole Palmer is. He's probably going to be good again. Be thankful that it's at Anfield, and it's we've got an extra day, haven't we? So it's the Sunday. It's at home. Hopefully that all comes together. That we've had a bit more rest. The South Americans have had another couple of days off when we're normally used to playing at 12:30 on the Saturday after these breaks, aren't we? So just hope that we are the team that we think we probably are at the moment. We could be really easily found out and realise we're fighting for 4th place, which is what we all probably expected at the start of the season. But if we come out of all this and we're still in a similar position, then we are in the mix for the biggest trophies once again.
What do you reckon it's going to be the difference if Liverpool are, what, for example, over the next week, what are Liverpool's results if they are to be title contenders or just best of the rest?
You've got to win them all, haven't you? That's the standards we've been used to.
Do you think we can win them all? Do you think we can beat Chelsea, beat Leipzig, beat Arsenal away?
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, and because we've seen us do all those things. I think Arsenal's going to be the massive test, and coming after Europe, and I think Slaughter's rightly put that warning on all of us, saying we should all get carried away and be excited, but at the same time, after the Arsenal game is when we'll probably have a better idea of where we are. But why can't we beat them all? Our team's good enough. The only thing that'll hold us back is fitness and injuries. If we don't, because we've got about 2 players in each position, and the cup squad is very much, there's not much room to breathing around if we do have a full schedule and then we get a couple of injuries. But until we get that, then we can beat everyone 3-0. Why not?
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So, if you're having to pick a side for Chelsea at the weekend, Kelleher. Yeah,
it's got to be Kelleher. Do you want me to carry on?
Yeah.
Trent, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Gravenberch. Mac Allister is the worry, because I think it's close to disgusting what Argentina did in that, he's gone, trained on his own. They made him an unused sub, then playing for over an hour in the game that they win 6-0, which why on earth is he playing? We're probably going to get the backlash after being precautionary about him taking off against Palace, letting him have a rest, and then they force him to play, and then he comes back to us again. So I kind of hope Mac Allister isn't playing, but I also hope for him that we're resting him, and that's why. But if he plays, it's a massive boost for us because he's so good. So in that instance, then who's it leave you with? That's the other issue. He said Curtis Jones probably going to have no sleep, and you've got Szoboszlai in front of them. It's whether he does the bold thing, but yeah, I talk myself around. Maybe we have to play Mac Allister for an hour, take him off, and then you hope Curtis Jones can come on and do it. I just don't know their fitness. Front 3, I think, would be Jota through the middle, Diaz, Salah.
Okay, I like that. If Mac Allister puts in the first half like he did last time after the international break, would he get his 60? Because that's another thing with Mac Allister. He's been a struggle after the international break for him so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, and that's the massive boost.
Understandably so, by the way.
Yeah, of course, yeah. The massive boost for us is that it's the Sunday game. That day and a half could make a massive difference because we so usually play the early kick-off. So I just hope that, and like, you know, we didn't, only saw like brief highlights of him for Argentina. We didn't look like someone who was knackered or playing through something, but, you know, it's just, we've got a whole season to think of. Argentina had 2 games and they'll see him next month. So it's where the stock goes. We need him for the Arsenal game. We need him in the Champions League. It's worth not playing him. But she said we don't know where Curtis Jones is. Harvey Elliott isn't available. Do you play Endo as well and make it more solid? It's a decision for him to make, and it's hard to pick without knowing what state he comes back in, isn't it? But yeah, I think the South Americans always have a tough time with the travel and everything, and, you know, we've seen Diaz not be played, but Mac Allister always seems to get the nod and always seems to not look quite as good as his near impervious best.
The other thing is as well, after the last international break, I think I'm right in saying that he played the same, before the international break and after it, he played the same 11, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that was something that Klopp, I don't think, had ever done in his 9.5 years at Liverpool. Obviously, that result didn't go our way. We weren't particularly good on that day. That was a Nottingham Forest game, wasn't it? We came back to and lost. Now, the team that he played, I'm looking at it against Crystal Palace. That was the last game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Alisson, so he can't play. Van Dijk, Canate. Oh, great, they're not in order. Trent, there's not even any numbers there. I mean, look at that. Look at the kip of that. Right, why? So, Alisson, Van Dijk, Canate, Trent, Timakash, Mac Allister, Gravenberch, bloody hell, Jones,
Gakpo,
Jota, Salah.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that 11.
No.
So you'd imagine.
But Gakpo and Diaz is the travel wise. That's the thing that he can make the decision on. But yeah, like Jota and Salah, I think would still play. Obviously, Salah having the rest, Van Dijk having the rest. I agree. I'm going to cough. That's all.
Okay, no problem. So there we go. That has been the Liverpool news update. I have been Chris Pajak. That man right there has been Peter Kenny Jones. Please do, if you can, support us. Turn up for the stream next Wednesday. We'll make it worth your while, I promise. Raising funds for Zoe's Place Baby Hospice. It's down as a 12-hour charity stream. It's more than likely a 13-hour charity stream, but it didn't sound as good, even though it is longer. So please join us in supporting Zoe's Place, and you can get your donations in now if you want to. So I'll put the link right now in the live comments, and I'm sure hundreds of you. That won't go into the live comments. Great. Apparently it's too long. Okay, I will type justgiving.com/page/the Redmen TV. Let's think and hope that that's it. I'm sure there's going to be hundreds of you now heading over there to give what you can if you can. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to Peter, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ra.